Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be Game 3 of the Go4SC 2 Cup number 89. This was played on Wednesday, March the 16th. And it's going to be Game 3 between Fargo, our blue Terran player, up in the upper left-hand corner of the map, and the yellow Zerg player, dKiLLeR. I was about to say Fargo again. dKiLLeR down in the bottom right-hand corner of what looks like Shakura's Plateau. So anyways, spawning cross positions one more time. One thing Fargo was kind of complaining about, because cross positions, if I can say that correctly, does favor Zerg, just because there's a longer rush distance for the Terran, and you can't get out things like, heaven forbid, Reapers, or just a small Marine Marauder push early on, which the Zerg has a hard time doing, because early in the game you want to focus on your economy, and if the other player is pressuring you, you can't exactly do that, which is why pressure is so important for Zergs. If you don't pressure them, then they kind of run away with things, which is why late game Zergs are kind of who you want to be, unless you consider the Protoss Death Ball the pinnacle of Starcraft prowess. So up here we have our blue Terran player Fargo, who hopefully I've mentioned in the in earlier games, but kind of an up-and-coming new Terran, 4,300 or so points on the ladder, definitely top 20, and doing pretty well in this cup so far. The series is tied 1-1 between dKiLLeR and Fargo, so we're going to see if Fargo can pull ahead this time around. So usually Fargo likes to go the 1-1-1 build, which is pretty classic, pretty standard, but he also likes to do a really nice push early game with 6 or 7 Marines as well as a couple Hellions. So if we see him tuck to the starport, then usually it turns out to be a drop, but he also is very fond of some Banshee harass, so 1-1-1 could lead into drops or Banshees and then transition into drops later on. Usually the strategy is you want to find some way to put pressure on the Zerg player to prevent them from running away with things while you get up your mid-game strategy, and then concurrently again for the late game depending on how things go. So we can see expansion before pool, and more drones being produced. As if we can check the income tab, we see 17 harvesters for the Terran. I did it again. For the Zerg player, and only 15 for the Terran player, as he is only producing out of one command center. Once he gets an expansion, then the supply definitely evens out for the Terran player, provided he keeps up the harassment. So SCV coming in here scouting for Fargo. If we select the SCV and then hit V, we can see Fargo's vision, which is of that hatchery. A couple of drones coming out to chase the SCV away. Actually, no, they're just Maynarding over there. You generally want to have 3 drones at your expansion when you do the Maynard, but keeping a few drones in the main. That's going to be about 12 drones in the main, along with a bunch more popping, but 4 Zerglings are going to come out right now. That is that 100 minerals, and the 3 Marines just now upgrading to 4 Marines, going to be the 200 in there for the Army tab. Production facility, you see 2 Queens coming out, 1 Spine Crawler at the front, very, very safe. A little bit premature, not sure that was quite necessary, as there's not a whole lot coming out here from Fargo. Just going to opt for the no reactor, no tech lab Hellions, and probably going to be adding on the reactor for the barracks to go ahead and get Stim started up as we progress. Wow, that was a bad one. Anyways, command center coming up, so going to be 1 racks into expansion, actually 1 racks into barracks into expansion, and this is a little bit more of an adaptation to the build. Going to be going out with that harassment Hellion, probably just going to go over here to the watchtower. Yeah, you can see it rallied right over there with its little red line of death, and that Zergling is not long for life. I wonder what you feel like as a Zergling. You just see this giant dune buggy come over there and then you get toasted. Oh well, such is life. I love rotating the camera. It's pretty pro. Pro tip, rotate the camera. Also pronounce the word rotate correctly. So a little bit of FPS lag there. Not sure what's contributing to that. It is down to 4 FPS. That was pretty bad, but now it seems to be clearing up, and we're going to see if we can fix this real fast. Check, 1, 2, check. Yes, there we go. Back up to 30 frames per second. I have no idea what on earth is doing this, but it seems to be pretty okay so far. Back in the Terran player's base, we see Starport coming out with that Banshee harass, so Banshees are indeed what we're going to be seeing here. Expansion is morphing into a orbital command center, And to provide some analysis on this game, let's go ahead and check out the Harvester tab. So 30 over 22 in the Zerg's favor, as it is wanted to be. But if we see the production tab, we have 7 more drones making with 4 more Zerglings and speed almost done. So speed tells me he wants to be defensive, as he has not spread his creep. Or alternatively, if he moves out, which you don't see a lot of Zergs doing early game because they just don't have that many units. However, most likely that speed on the creep is going to allow his Zerglings to defend his base pretty amicably, as his Overlord scouts are in the common dropping positions right over. Yeah, and still lagging a bunch. Not sure exactly what that's done, so I'm going to pause it and check that out. And we're back. My bad, had a little bit of extra lag going on there in the background, but all is well. We do see these 6 scouting Zerglings moving out as soon as speed is finished to compensate for that lack of creep. Going to be trying to put on a little bit of extra pressure after he scouted the early expansion from the Terran players. So if we go ahead and see where exactly these Zerglings are going, they may be trying to go over here and check out these little guys. Maybe just checking for some secret expansions back here at the front, and well, actually, yes, they are going to go ahead and block off these, or start working on these rocks. Going to be trying for a back entrance to the Terran player's base. I don't think there's a lot of scouting going on. If we see what, in fact, our friend Fargo can see, he has no idea what's going on over here. And not really any idea that these rocks may be in danger. Does not see that Overlord, but probably should know that there are some Overlords in the vicinity. Man, this Overlord is so far over there, I can barely select it. That's how much dead space there is over there. Gosh, look at those water effects. Yep. Pretty. And halfway done with the rocks, we're going to see what the Terran player is going for, producing some more tanks and Marines, just going for that classic tank-marine combo. I realized I'd moved away from my Mac a little bit, but we're back, and dKiLLeR is just opting for Mutalisk Harass. So Mutalisk and Zergling is going to be really helpful, going to be able to kill off these rocks so fast. And moving out with the Banshee, this Banshee could move over here. Yeah, just going to snipe off the watchtower. That is that old pro Banshee from earlier, has 7 kills. Gonna be ranked up to a corporal, and pooping some creep out in the middle. That's one of the classic things you see them do, poop out some creep and then throw down a creep tumor on it to expand the creep even faster. So this little guy could be you know, helping out, moving out a little bit, but right now dKiLLeR is mostly focused on these Zerglings who are moved all the way over here. Did not get scouted by that Banshee. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that. So right now, he has no clue that these are going on over there. Mutalisks come on in, and that's going to trigger Fargo to move his Marines back up. Here come the Marines, moving into the base. They are going to be running up there, killing off the Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks draw back, and this is where we are going to see Fargo start to realize that, uh-oh, those rocks are not there anymore. He is actually pulling back without realizing this is going to be horrible for Fargo. The Zerglings are warping through it, gnawing through that, and there that Marine comes over there, gonna see the rocks are gone, and this is going to be all-out panic for Fargo. Fargo's base is in full breach. 6 Mutalisks in there, along with 8 or 10 Zerglings. And the SCVs run straight away. No mining going on in the main for Fargo, so at least the harass has stopped the mining, and that is a pretty effective harass. Sends the SCVs back, needs to put them back on gases. There is no gas being mined except for that one SCV in the main, and this may be actually kind of a bad idea for the Zerg, as he has just allowed the Terran player free reign to counterattack into his next expansion location. So essentially the Zerg is going to be limited to 3 bases unless he wants to take this inside base, which is very poorly defended, unless that Hellion wants to start, you know, getting some work done on those rocks, which will take all of 8 hours. So he is moving out here. The Mutalisks do see this. Are they going to be able to pick out the tanks? Yes! Oh my goodness, group your Marines with your tanks, Fargo, and right now we see, yeah, 2 tanks go down. Oh my goodness, tank gets away with 11 hit points. So these Mutalisks may go back to the main and start to harass. There's absolutely nothing to prevent that from happening in the main, except for a few Marines grouped out here at the front, which he could then pressure with Zerglings. So no shenanigans like that going to be moving out. Splits his Marines to avoid some Banelings, and Banelings there are. So Marines in the main do get cleaned up. No, they go ahead and kill off the Queen, so that is a little bit good for him. And these Banelings wreck the Marines. There's absolutely no micro going on there for our friend Fargo. His Marines absolutely getting toasted. So, getting toasted. quote Total Biscuit. Anyways, Marine just kind of trapped out behind here. I think he actually could get around behind there, but that is completely unimportant as we see not Virus. It's Killer. I've been watching too much GSL. Anyways, morphing so many banelings. I know it's cliche, but I said it. 19 banelings on the way and a 4th hatchery. 3rd hatchery, or is that a production hatchery? Let's check it out. Yes, indeed, it is a production hatchery, and I don't actually like the placement of that, because I believe, yeah, if he wants to make, like, ultralisks or something big in the base, they're either going to have to go out the back way, which is not an option, or, like, run all the way around, glitch through the mineral lines, and come out around there. So that may be a little bit too far ahead to be thinking. And right now, oh no, Baneling's running in there, and no micro from Fargo. Where's his attention? Everywhere else. No, Fargo, what are you doing? Absolutely getting crushed there, rolled by Banelings. That is how Banelings are supposed to work, and all those Marines just absolutely bit the dust. So if we check the Army tab, check that out, 64 to 104, and not looking good for our hero here. So a Zerg player with some pro moves, or rather kind of a fail from Fargo, not moving his Marines there, but he has only missed that one time. So is he going to see the Overlord down here? I guess he's just doing that so he can't expand, although he probably would expand there because planetary fortresses are pretty darn effective at defending that open area along with some bunkers. So Spinecrawler is moved to the forward position there. Wow, that was tiring, but relaxing at the same time. Creep being spread like a boss here, especially this little guy getting awfully forward there. Mutalisks has about 17 Mutalisks ready and waiting. And that sounded like an Nidus Swarm, but it was not. It was, in fact, the morphing of the Banelings, I believe. As they are now rolling along with that Baneling speed, probably going to be doing some more creep spreading, but let's check out the camera view, actually the APM. Yeah, we're going to see Fargo start to peter out here, even though he has macroed up a pretty sufficient force. Oh, he scans to see the burrowed Banelings. Absolutely pro move there. Man, that would have been all he needed to just fall out of this tournament. Actually, not out of this tournament, just out of this game. But he does burrow the Baneling again. He's going to build a missile turret right next to the Baneling. So probably not going to be moving anymore. Oh, scans to see the Baneling. Notices that there aren't any more, but here come in the Banelings. One siege tank. Is that going to be enough for the Banelings? Yes, kills off most of the Banelings. Is he going to hit the mother load of Marines right over there? No, but there's not too many Marines left. There are not too many Marines left. And there go in the Zerglings, killing off the tank, killing off the Marines, and there are no more forces left for Fargo. Once this little group of Marines gets killed off, that is about it. So, I guess we can expect GG any minute now. There is not a whole lot going well for Fargo right now. Gosh, that was tiring. So, Marines and tanks going to be moving out. That's a pretty good macro there for Fargo, not going to lie. Does have enough Marines to push this group of Mutalisks back, but he's just luring him. He scans to see the Zerglings and Banelings, and you don't need to be in a narrowed choke point right there. So one siege hit takes out most of the Banelings, but so many Mutalisks, and having to spread out the Marines means they're not able to focus the Mutalisks quite as well. Although everything does go down, nice micro there from dKiLLeR to kill off the siege tank as he was pulling away, but right now running in with so many Zerglings, and this is going to be the coup de grace, the last bastion of hope for the Terran alliance or faction or whatever you want to call it. Goes down right there, Zerglings in full breach, and going to be able to move in there, take out the siege tank, and GG from Fargo. So clutch play of the game was Fargo not minding his Marines while they got overrun by the Zerg forces. And I guess kind of a pro move there from dKiLLeR to realize that his attention was elsewhere and move in, morphing some Banelings for the BM right in front of the Terran forces. So, going to be moving on to Game 4. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be moving on to the next set. See you there. GG.